up the highest metric. The city.
From the banks of the Ohio River, there's a look at what's now known as Paycor Stadium here in Cincinnati. Today we've got a fun little clash in the AFC, as it'll be the Denver Broncos taking on the Cincinnati Bengals.
Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis on hand. Kickoff just moments away. Charles, quickly, keys to the game.
For me, it's coaching. Who prepared his team the best going into this one to give them the confidence to believe that they would win the game? That's who's going to come out of this one on top.
Ready to get this one started. And we are underway from Cincinnati. And they will wrangle it down a couple yards shy of the 30. Here come the Bengals. And CD, of course, it's Joe Burrow out of LSU at quarterback.
And when you come into the league as the #1 guy selected, a lot of hype comes with it. Sometimes that weight can be unbearable. But this young man, he took that weight on and handled it as well as you can imagine. And I love his ability to make a second, third reaction play and create downfield.
Burrow going to get this out to Chase. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Blocking the ball. Offense.
An unfortunate time for the penalty there. That cancels out a positive play from this offense.
Well, not to sound too trite or too accepting, but you and I both know it happens. You got to accept it and move on. Yardage, you got to get back. Focus on the next play. Move on.
Quickly to the air is Burrow. Open man is Yoshibas. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. They get 14 yards, but not enough for the first down due to the previous penalty.
Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? Able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
Burrow will throw. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. Third down.
They'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one. Force the incompletion. That'll allow him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely. Frees up your guys elsewhere. And they'll send the tight end in motion left. Burrow looking to pass. He's got his target. That's complete. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. Burrow hooking up with Higgins for a Bengal first down.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere. And they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people. But you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well. And that's what they just did on that play.
They'll run for the first time here with Brown. And he stopped immediately there. Dre Greenlaw in there on the tackle.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
This one complete to Yoshibas. A swift move and then tackled just on the other side of midfield. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play. And now 2 yards to go on third down. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Oh, and the hard count might have got him. This might be a first down.
Defense.
A bit of a jump there, CD. He breaks the line, and that'll be 5 yards.
And you've got to stay more disciplined than that, Brandon. That's just a free gift to the offense.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. An inside give, Brown. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. They'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
2nd down and 4.
They'll send a receiver here in motion right.
They'll fake the jet sweep and go play action with Burrow. On the throw, led him too much that time. It's incomplete.
It certainly appears that they're going to try and keep getting him the football. It's the 3rd time they've looked in his direction. Unfortunately, haven't completed one yet, but I'm not sure they're going to shy away from it. They feel like they've got something there, and they want to capitalize on it.
I think you're right. We're only in the 1st quarter, so a lot of opportunities ahead. From the gun on 3rd down is Burrow.
Able to find the open man. That's complete.
And this is going to be another 1st down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos 16. That 3rd down conversion good for 23.
Bengals 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line.
Well, that's not just his first, not his second, already his 3rd completion here on the opening drive. And I think it's safe to say that getting him the ball in this game, one of their top priorities.
And a top priority for the defense has got to be finding ways to cover him. And I don't think you can have one basic coverage to get it done. You have to throw a number of coverages at him, make him think as he's running downfield, and hope you can create a little bit of havoc.
He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11.
Burrow going to keep it running right.
Only a yard there on the keeper, and that's going to leave him with a 3rd down.
And if you like defensive football, focus on the defensive end on this play. He does everything exactly right. Reads the play and makes sure he spills it for a small gain.
It's been a pretty long opening drive. This will be play number 11 coming up on 3rd down. Now it's Burrow. And he's not able to get away. Sacked back at the 22. And now that brings up 4th down there. A loss of 6 yards on the sack.
Well, it's about how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on 3rd down.
So on 4th down, off goes Burrow. On comes Evan McPherson for the Bengal field goal. McPherson's kick is good.
And the Bengals are on the board first here. It's 3-0. So the opening drive does yield points. Maybe not the 7 they wanted, but they'll take the 3.
Accumulating 1st downs does not go up on the scoreboard, but it does go into the DNA of a team that's trying to establish itself to start a game. That has to feel pretty good for them. They'll take the 3.
Yeah, they had 3 1st downs and 3 points.
So after the made field goal, here's McPherson to send this one away. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. And they are led out there by their mobile quarterback.
His ability to adjust on the fly is almost unmatched in the game right now because it leads to a couple of snaps per game where you just sit back and ask yourself, how did he pull that off? Opponents can practice and prepare each and every week all they want, but this guy, he is hard to corral.
Looking to put a drive together.
They'll run with a 2nd-round pick from Bengals draft.
Yeah, able to elude 1 tackler, but only gets this back to the line of scrimmage.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
He'll swing this out to Dobbins.
So the completion good for 6 yards. And this will wind up being a 3rd and 3.
And a nice gain and a broken tackle along the way. And really, we shouldn't be surprised, should we? That's what runners do, especially the best ones. They break tackles and gain extra yardage.
Here's 3rd and 3. Now it's Nix. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
On 4th down, Jeremy Crawshaw on to punt for Denver. Charlie Jones deep for Cincinnati.
It's a 40-yard punt, 6 yards on the return.
And the Bengals take over 1st and 10.
Cincinnati coming back onto the field here for their 2nd drive. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10.
Y'all got to pump my taste. Y'all can't talk about basic. We might as well power rangers. Mine also dangerous.
They're passing here, Joe Burrow. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And it's 2nd down. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
His 4th catch already in this first quarter. It's a 1st down.
And the Bengals, 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 48.
And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme, and you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
48-yard line.
Now a 2nd and 10. Now it's Burrow. That was short one to Gesicki. And he's got this down a yard or 2 shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. That'll leave him with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days. But you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
Ready for the 2nd quarter from Cincinnati. It's the Bengals with the football here, as they've got it with a 3rd down coming up.
That is caught. He's going to have the 1st down and then some.
And all the way in for a Cincinnati score.
Jamar Chase,
40 yards. And they're able to add on to their advantage. And that is the definition of yards after catch. They go short on the pass, and the receiver does the rest.
Seems so harmless, doesn't it? To throw it underneath, a short pass like that. The boy gets dangerous in the hands of the right receiver as he makes a move and takes it the distance.
Evan McPherson for the extra point.
It's up and good, and that'll increase their lead to 10-zip. 5 plays there on that drive.
And it was Jamar Chase who finished it off with a touchdown reception. after the touchdown. McPherson on to kick this one away. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
So now the second drive offensively coming up for the Denver Broncos. Nothing for them yet from an offensive standpoint, down 10-zip as they come up 1st and 10.
They'll begin on the ground with Harvey.
Yeah, he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
From the 38 now, here's 2nd down and 1. A collegiate star here in the Buckeye State, it's J.K. Dobbins.
And they will finally get to him down at the Bengals 30. He's able to rip off 32 on that one. It's a first down.
That's good for a Broncos first down. 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line.
They went with the nickel look defensively, so they had 5 defensive backs in there. Didn't help them stop the run.
Yeah, I love that. The nickel look, 5 cents, 5 DBs. But what also happens then, you take a big body off the field in order to insert that guy. So you're taking a big off for a little. And oftentimes you can run the football effectively against that defense.
Got a man open, it's Sutton. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. 15 yards down to the 15 and a first down.
Another nice play there. They've gotten down into the red zone in no time at all. That's what this offense can do when they get on a roll. And now they're set up with a 1st and 10.
On 1st and 10, it's Dobbins.
And able to surge forward for about 5 yards down to the 10.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a game, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
4 yards remain on 2nd down. Ball on the 10. They'll go again with Dobbins.
And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4. You don't see that a ton, do you? With a cornerback coming over to the middle of the field to make a run tackle.
That's someone with a ton of confidence to feel like nothing is pressuring him on his side of the field. Sees that the ball's moved to the middle and just sprints over there to help out. He ends up getting the tackle. Well played.
That throw out wide going to be incomplete.
From a defensive perspective, they had exactly what you want anytime they want to throw the football. There was pressure on the quarterback. They were getting after him, and they tightened down on the receivers and forced the incompletion.
And no signs of the field goal unit. They're going for it on 4th down.
They're going. It's Nix. To the right side and intercepted. Picked off by Jordan Battle. And the Bengals are going to take over once again at their own 37-yard line. I appreciate the aggressiveness trying to go for it there on 4th down, but you're in the red zone, have 3 points in your back pocket. Instead, Charles, they throw it away.
Certainly a big call to go for it on 4th down. As you said, in the red zone, definitely going to cost them 3 points, and we'll see how that affects the game as time goes on.
Joe Burrow and the Bengals heading back out there. He had the short touchdown pass on their previous drive, and they'll begin again here on 1st and 10.
Looking to put a drive together.
And they'll begin here with a run by Brown.
And he's going to be stepped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39.
Passing game's been working quite well so far, but the running game's been a little bit of a struggle. That's a surprise to me. Typically, when you can throw it, you've opened up lanes for your runners.
Here now, 2nd and 9 from the 39-yard line.
Off the play fake. Here's Burrow. And the Broncos get there and take him down. It'll go as a loss of about 6, and now it brings up third.
What a nice read and play by the defensive tackle. Never bought the play action fake. Went right for the quarterback and put him on the ground.
So that'll leave Burrow and the Bengals with a 3rd and long after that sack we just saw.
They'll drop to throw. Throwing right, and that's complete. And they would take it down, but not before they work it across midfield. Able to convert on 3rd and 14. A terrific play call.
For the kind of game he's had so far, you had to know that on 3rd down that they would be looking his way, and they did, for big yardage and a 1st down. I think the defense fell asleep with the switch on that one. I would have doubled him, tripled him, anything to keep the ball out of his hands.
Here's Burrow. Over the middle, complete. That's Brown. It'll go as a gain of 4. And that's going to bring up 2nd down.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. The linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
Now Burrow.
And that one to the right side and incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time. And this offense on 3rd down today, they've been near perfect. 4 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. He's going to get that to his running back out of the backfield. And this is going to be another 1st down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 27-yard line. The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another 1st.
But things are definitely going right for them here in the 1st half. Pick it down, any down, even 3rd down, no problem. They get a connection there and pick up a fresh set of downs, continuing to move the ball.
And nothing much materializing there in the 1st down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
You've got to be impressed by the defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
From the 24 now, here's a 2nd and 8.
Back to throw.
And that is going to be incomplete as he led him a bit too much.
We've hit the 2-minute mark of the 1st half. 10-0 our score. Out of the huddle now for play number 9 on this drive. This is 3rd down and 8. That's caught. And they'll take this into the end zone for Bengal TD.
It's T. Higgins with a touchdown pass from Joe Burrow. And the Bengals are able to extend their lead.
Partner, remember that old film of Peyton Manning going through the route tree with his great receivers in Indianapolis? I think we're seeing the results of the same type of work here today. These guys know each other so well, they don't even have to call the play. They can just look each other and know the route that's going to be run, and usually the connection is perfect.
That's my heart.
And McPherson on for the extra point.
He's got it, and it's 17-0. That time, a 9-play drive.
And it was T. Higgins who capped the drive with the touchdown reception. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28.
Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here.
And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down. I know, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. A good pickup there on first as a screen pass gets him 8.
And a really nice play call there to start the drive, especially if you're a team that has a little bit of a reputation for throwing it downfield. You come out and you think maybe you can catch them off guard a little bit, and they did. Little screen pass, backdoored them, and that time looked well for a solid gain.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 11 yards for number 11. It's been a very one-sided game so far. They got to change what they're doing right now, don't they? You can't wait till the halftime speech to make an adjustment.
No, you can't, because if you're doing it right, you're adjusting from series to series, and they need a big adjustment here to try and put some points on the board.
Oh, he had a man open. He overshot him. It's incomplete.
Oh, and that's kind of how it's gone for him so far. That was a ball they need to get back in this game. A quick strike, a big play. But he led his guy too far, and it winds up over his head.
2nd and 10. Back to the air with Nix. That is incomplete.
They attempted a deep ball there, and they didn't get it. But, boy, they're going to need a few of those to actually hit in order to get back into this game.
Good thing they do have a little bit of time here still left in the contest. Decent-sized deficit, but not one that they can't manage. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. To throw is Nix. And that is incomplete, but a penalty flag coming in. This could be a first down. First and 10 here. You know, if they could just get 3 out of this, there's something about narrowing it to a 2-score game at half that makes it feel like much less of an obstacle. So they'll get 8 out of that completion, and it'll be 2nd and a couple.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. They'll let this go for the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
Well, they had that one sniffed out defensively. That's a tough one to connect on when you got multiple defenders in the area, and it winds up incomplete.
Trying to keep the drive going here. This is play number 7 on 3rd and 2. To throw, here's Nix. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. A give up the middle to Dobbins. And he'll take this down just shy of the 25-yard line. Now the Broncos going to use the 2nd of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. This is 2nd and 8. Nix to the air. They set up the screen for Dobbins. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. That one a first down pickup of 8.
Well, they certainly made a point of getting him involved in the passing game here in the first half. They must have seen something in the scouting that said, hey, we can capitalize on him getting the ball possibly in the open field. And I think in the second half, that may loosen up the defense a little bit to get the running game going back inside.
Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. The kick by Lutz is good. And that will do it for this first half. Halftime coming up. Let's get you down to Orlando and our buddy Scott Hansen with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thanks much. Welcome in, everyone, to the Orlando studios. Scott Hansen with you for a quick halftime report. We'll let both sides catch their breath and get their orange wedges as we're going to get ready for the third quarter action. So let's go back out to the stadium as we rejoin our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Scott, thanks very much. And we welcome all of you back here on EA Sports for quarter number 3.
I should probably stop that head, boy, because I got all that heads, boy. All that drink, you got to chill. I be on my little mouse drip. All that rapping pay your bills. Yeah, I'm on some rappers pay my bills. All the books in me, I thought it made me richer. Wasn't paying me enough.
17-3 the score as we resume action for the second half on EA Sports. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. Here comes the Broncos offensive unit here as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. And they're still very much in this game, although they do trail. What's the game plan, Charles, for the second half?
It might be a little counterintuitive because most people will think losing equals passing the ball more, but I'd establish the running game. They kind of went away from it in the first half. I think if they get back in balance, it'll help them when they put the ball back in the air.
Operating from the gun, here's Nix. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. Throwing Nix. Now they go screen. It's complete. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12. Well, plays like that, Charles, no doubt, they're just going to continue to fuel this crowd.
And this defense is already playing well, but it also feeds on the energy of that crowd that you're talking about, and that takes them up to another level. Right now, they're playing really loose. They've got the lead, and what a nice stop they just made there behind the line of scrimmage.
And this pass broken up. But the contact well in time there, and now 4th down.
That's an excellent job right there on 3rd down. Like any defense, you never want to let them get anything started, and that would have been a 1st down. Instead, you saw the contact on time, no penalty, and before this drive could get wings, it's 4th down.
Here's Jones on the return. A 47-yard punt, maybe a couple on the return. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. So here are the Bengals now as they get their first possession of this second half. They have to be pleased with the way that they moved the football thus far.
And why wouldn't they be? 2 touchdowns on a field goal in their first 3 possessions. They're playing so well right now, the field goal probably feels like a disappointment.
Burrow and the Bengals with a 1st and 10 at about the 32. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And Burrow going to be hit and taken down. They got him. Nick Bonito coming in there to record the sack. This defense coming out after the half, and if that plays any indicator, Charles, maybe a little refreshed and refocused here for quarters 3 and 4.
Yeah, they did really well on that one. That's exactly what they need to keep doing if they want to change their fortunes in this game.
Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Burrow will throw. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line.
I wonder what was going through his mind when he got the play call. He just got sacked on the previous play. He knows they're coming after him again. A little bit of guts to stand in there, take the hit, and successfully complete the screen pass. Really well done.
Burrow looking to pass. Open man is Yoshibas. And he'll get this to the 40, but that's still going to be a few yards short of the first down. They'll get 10 there, but it leaves them just short for fourth down.
On third down, you'll give them that. You just want to make sure that you play the first down line. They were able to get him down and force the punt.
The Bengals bring out their punter now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the third. So possession goes over here on the punt. And it'll be 1st and 10 Broncos from deep in their own territory. Looking to put a drive together. They'll start by running the option to the right. And he'll take this beyond the line of scrimmage as he slides to a hole. 2 yards the gain on the keeper, and it's second down.
Defenses always talk about earning the right to rush the passer on third down. And you know what offenses want? Win first down so they can set things up for themselves better.
And that wasn't helpful there. Not a big impact on first down. They'll go play action with Nix. And this throw incomplete. And the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to third down. A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
Yeah, this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on third down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
I thought he had that one, and that was really a big third down conversion to give this drive some life. Instead, they're on the spot and help separate the receiver from the ball.
The Broncos send out their punter now, standing just outside his own goal line. Here's Jones. And that'll be a return of 12 following a very nice punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Bengals offense and Joe Burrow getting set for this next drive. And he had it going in the first half, that's for sure. He's really had his way with his secondary. They've been powerless to stop him. And he'll look to keep it rolling right here. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
Here's 2nd and 10. Looking to throw. Here's Higgins out on the right side. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
He'll look to throw. And it's taken in by his big tight end. And he's going to have the Bengals first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 27-yard line.
Normally on third down and short yardage, you're thinking of throw to your tight end. It's just going to be a simple chain mover. But this time they let him roam down the field, and a nice dart picks up the first down and then some.
And they go play action now. Burrow. He will find his man Chase complete. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last two plays.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try to put the hammer down and finish this one off. I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got second and third down to fall back on.
So 2nd and 10, third quarter. Thanks for tagging along with us here from the Queen City of Cincinnati. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And just shy of the goal line as he's out of bounds right at the 1. That catch puts him right at 100 yards receiving now, and it also gives him a first down.
That's a nice job of working his way open down in the red zone. Looked that one in and then made a beeline for the pylon. He didn't quite get there, and you want to give him a little extra for the effort, but instead he sets his guy.
And he's in. Touchdown, Bengals. Chase Brown taking it in from a yard out. And the Bengals take a 3-touchdown lead. So the toss play effective, even down here near the goal line.
Yeah, and you're hoping the defense commits too many men to stop the run in the middle of the field, and that your blockers can gain a little bit of an advantage. And when they do, foot race to the pylon, and this time, he had the speed to win that race.
McPherson now for the extra point. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21 points. So this drive spans 7 plays. And it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
On the ground, it's Harvey to start the drive. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
Now it's Nix. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And it brings up 3rd and 5 now.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go, because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Here's Nix. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Offensively lucky they're able to keep the football, but now 4th down, so they'll have to boot it away.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. 1, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But 2, being able to punt it changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense has to go onto the field and try and hold. Instead, they get a little breathing room.
The Broncos send out their punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Called out a punt of 38 yards officially. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the third quarter. You're 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
So a loss of 5, and it'll be second down. To say they've kept him under wraps running the football, that's an understatement. He's been completely neutralized.
Yeah, they've essentially taken him out of the game, haven't they? And you know, all the teams say, we're not going to let him beat us. Well, that's exactly what's happened here. They've lived up to that.
They're passing here. Joe Burrow. Now a short one to Gesicki. And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45.
Let's not quibble about the game there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on third down.
So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage.
Now it's Burrow. He's got his line back out of the backfield. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. 3 quarters have come and gone. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Cincinnati. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4.
On 1st and 10, here's Brown.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage.
But Nick Bonito not letting him escape there. He was in instant pursuit off the snap and dropped him behind the line.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Out of the gun, it's Burrow. Got a man open, it's Chase.
And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos 19. The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another first.
Well, normally you might say start running the football. You've got the lead here in the 4th quarter, but the way that they've passed it with such success, I don't know, maybe keep throwing it.
Yeah, I think you brought up something that goes against conventional wisdom, right? In this stage of the game, you would think you would switch to a running attack, but you're exactly right. They've thrown it so well throughout the game, and trusting this quarterback, I think you continue to do so.
Another first down as they call his number again. He's got 15 yards here.
It's all pretty simple sometimes, isn't it? Go where the defenders are not, and he does exactly that. Makes a nice catch to move the chains. Defense, got to find a better way of accounting for the shorter routes that are being run against them.
Here's Burrow.
That one thrown away from the pocket. The officials kind of looking at each other, but they'll say there was a receiver in the area, so no penalty, just an incomplete pass.
Line of scrimmage, again the 4-yard line, 2nd and goal. They go play action with Burrow. Throw left side here, complete to the tight end, Gesicki. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. Mike Gesicki from 4 yards out. And the Bengals up the lead to 4 scores now here in this 4th quarter. There was no going through the progressions on that touchdown pass.
Yeah, nor was it necessary. His receiver won that route early, presented himself. No reason to wait. Go ahead and put it on him and score a touchdown.
McPherson on for the point after.
And that'll increase their lead to 28. So that drive takes them down the field in 8 plays.
And it all concluded with a touchdown pass to the tight end, Mike Gesicki. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. Oh, good-looking return set up here. And they got to be pleased with this. He brings it all the way up to the 40-yard line. Denver's offense now set to go. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled-out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He'd love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47. Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
A short throw to Ingram. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackled there. A Bronco first down there, 12 yards on the play.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
Nix from the shotgun. Sutton reeling it in on the left side. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Working out of the gun is Nix. That's taken in by Franklin. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 15-yard line. A good pickup there of 20 yards. And with this game well in hand, perhaps we are seeing the coverage lighten up a little bit as they got burned there a bit for a first down.
Well, we certainly know the coach isn't happy along the sideline because he certainly wants them to finish this one out the way they started it. He doesn't want to give up any soft completions, no late points. He wants his lead to stay right where it is.
And that'll be a free 5 yards for the offense.
Just like a tennis match, that's just an unforced error. Stay alert, don't jump early, and give them free yardage.
Now a chance to make that encroachment penalty really hurt. 1st and 5. They'll run up the gut with Dobbins. Only about a yard there as he takes it from the 9 to the 8.
Not a whole lot there after the penalty, but remember, it was 1st and 5, not 1st and 10, so now they can keep grinding out first downs and good things can happen for them. Just 2nd and short coming up.
2nd down from the 8. They can get a first down by reaching the 5. Another run here with Dobbins. And the Broncos are going to have it 1st and goal, so they'll take this down to about the 3. So a decent deficit at this stage in the second half. 4-down territory?
No doubt about it. There's not a chance that he hasn't looked ahead and said, okay, if we gain yardage on this play, this is what we'll do going forward. If we lose yardage, this is the play call that I'll have ready.
Harvey. Oh, he's going absolutely nowhere as he is hit behind the line. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Well, I know a defensive coordinator is going to be pretty excited about what he just saw there. Great knockback by their front. And now with the ball where it is, I would expect to see the offense throw the ball on 2nd and 3rd down here.
To throw is Nix. Touchdown, Broncos! Evan Ingram from 6 yards away. And the Broncos are finally into the end zone here in this 4th quarter. Well, it seemed like they were so focused elsewhere they forgot about the tight end spot, and he's the one that burns him there to make this a 3-score game here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
I think there might be a little bit of defensive fatigue from those guys on that side of the ball, partner, because they've been spending their time trying to stop them from all angles. This time the tight end gets them.
Lutz with the extra point. And that'll
cut the lead back down to 21. So that drive goes 8 plays.
And Evan Ingram able to finish it off with a touchdown reception.
So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. And this is going to be snuffed out. The Bengals recover. And that's why you have your hands team out there on the field. Those are the best guys ready to make that play.
And let's face it, it was executed well. It wasn't a bad kick. It wasn't anything like that. Just that the normal outcome actually came to play. Analytics will tell you it's a very low possibility of getting the ball for the team kicking it in an onside kick situation.
You're all about the numbers, aren't you?
All about the numbers, baby. It's a new game now.
They don't lie. This is Brown going up the middle. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair.
From the 42-yard line, here's 2nd down and 8.
Now Burrow. And that one's going to be off target and incomplete.
But their passing attack, even though that one was incomplete, has been really sharp in this one. It's resulted in a lot of touchdowns, and it looks like they're not going to stop throwing the football until the very end of this one.
Well, that will certainly make everyone involved on offense pretty happy, because that gives them all a chance to pad their stats a bit. But as far as the actual need, you and I both know they can just run this clock out, because this one is over a long time ago.
And he is going to have the Bengals first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line.
He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way and worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
They'll give this out the middle to Brown. Might have gotten this one down to the 28, and that's all. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
I like the call there, because that was one to take time off the clock and get them closer to getting out of here with a W. In the mind of the play caller, all you want to hear is tick, tick, tick.
Now it looks like he'll throw here.
This one complete to Yoshibas.
So nothing doing there. And that's going to set up a tough 3rd and 9. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of, until they stop him, why not go back to it? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
So this one in the win column now for the Cincinnati Bengals. And I think you'd have to label this an upset. Yes, they were at home, but still an upset. They got the job done.
Yeah, even being at home was not enough for people to think they were going to pull this one off. But give them credit for playing not just a smart football game, but one where they were going to be physical about the whole thing. They put up their fists and said, let's fight, and showed their crowd that they were into this one.
And then that's the thing, the crowd responded. They were really good in this game.
Yeah, they were not going to be pushed around. They were not going to be intimidated. They refused to back down and came away with a victory.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. It's a win for the Bengals as we say so long from Cincinnati.